Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm a bit like a fish out of water because I'm an anaesthetist actually, a relatively newly appointed consultant anaesthetist, and I was kind of sitting, reflecting on my experience of being an ED and as a senior registrar, and I kind of miss it actually a bit. So I mainly do obstetrics, actually gynecology work at the Women's Hospital in UHB, and yeah, I don't get to ED so much anymore. So I'm going to talk about learning from excellence. So the reason I'm talking about it is because I've set up this positive reporting system at UHB and at the Women's Hospital. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think we need learning from excellence and positive reporting systems. And then reflect a little bit on my experience and think about how it can contribute, we're here for a conference about medical education, so I'm going to relate it a little bit to educational training, but I think it's got really widespread applications. Who works in a department that has a positive reporting system? So that's probably, when I talk about this, it's probably about half of you, maybe slightly more, and actually that's above average, I think, when I talk about it in other settings. So ED, I think, we're already quite ahead of the game. And I'm conscious there are some people here who are heavily involved in positive reporting systems elsewhere, so I hope I'm going to get the balance right of what I'm going to speak about. So a few sort of declarations. It wasn't my idea, but it was my husband's idea, so I think I can take a little bit of credit there. So my husband's a paediatric intensivist at the Children's Hospital, and actually it wasn't uniquely his idea either. There are many positive reporting systems out there. There was one that started in Southampton around the same sort of time. And he came up with the idea after his experience as a patient and I suppose my experience as a relative. About 7-8 years ago now, he was quite unwell, and we found ourselves in our local ED department. He'd been febrile, he'd got some pleurotic chest pain, and I thought he'd had man flu, and ignored it for a bit. And then eventually on Sunday morning, we realised it was a little bit more serious, so we drove him to ED. We had a 3-month-old baby at the time, so she came with us, so it was all a bit fraught. We soon found ourselves in really sort of doing that slightly sort of odd thing where you feel a bit like a fish out of water, and is this really happening? And he was tachycardic, he was a bit hypoxic, his blood pressure was a bit low, and we were seen by a lovely ED doctor who decided that he'd probably got a PE. Now that wasn't unreasonable, because actually he'd been treated for testicular cancer a few months previously, and we could talk a little bit about the confirmation bias and what was leading him towards that. But we looked at each other and thought, that's a bit weird. We thought he had sort of sepsis, so just infection. And we could focus on the fact that actually there was a delay in treatment, and actually we could talk about all of those factors, but actually it's what happened next that sowed the seed of the idea for the positive reporting system. Because the next person we saw was an ED nurse practitioner, and she was brilliant. She was compassionate and competent in equal measure, which I think is what you want from your medical staff. She took a blood gas, she took a history, she made us feel listened to, and she got someone to review Adrian. And very soon he was having his antibiotics and his fluids and treatment for his sepsis. We then were admitted to the ward, and we were dealt with by a wonderful respiratory registrar who dealt with me in my slightly hysterical state, reassured us, looked after Adrian, he got better, went home. So we were really happy with the care that he got, and we wrote a really detailed letter to the hospital, to the chief exec, naming these staff, saying what we thought was brilliant, and really reflecting on what had happened. Sent it off, Adrian went back to work, and then we met the respiratory registrar. A few years later, actually, we shared a childminder slightly bizarrely, and obviously said thank you. And for some reason, we said, did you get the letter? And of course, he didn't. Because I think our baseline in the NHS is when we see something that's good, is we just, at best, sort of gratefully accept it and move on. And actually, the good stuff is not treated with the same weight as the bad stuff. And actually, it's time for a bit of balance. So, I've mentioned all that already. Adrian came up with the idea of a positive reporting system. And the idea is twofold. One is that if we start looking at the stuff that's going really well, we can improve the quality of the care that we give. And the second thing is that if we show appreciation and give this positive feedback to our colleagues is that we will improve morale and we will actually develop those connections that the previous two speakers have talked about being really important. And I think that may be actually the real key to these positive reporting systems. So this is just to remind you some examples. You can see there's sort of grey text thumbs up, so a lot of places call their positive reporting system, they've kind of evolved in different forms. And I think that is really one of the strengths of the positive reporting systems, that people take the concept and then develop it in their own way. And this is the stars are kind of, we had a Learning from Excellence conference last year, and these are places that had submitted posters. But we know there are about 100 centres, and growing all the time, of people who have these positive reporting systems. This is a quote from an Israeli businessman, actually. Tell me how you measure me and I will tell you how I will behave. I think if we're constantly measuring the things that are going wrong with no balance, then that's what we end up sort of wanting to behave like, and actually it's time to change that. This is a graph taken from the white paper, Safety 1 to Safety 2. It's just a theoretical normal distribution, really. And it emphasises the fact that our traditional approach to safety, and I think arguably to quality as well, is to look at what's gone wrong, where we've got the absence of safety, and think about how to find and fix it. But actually, there's a lot that we can learn from actually when our systems work well, and learning from excellence is sort of the far right side of the curve. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to think about why we have this sort of natural tendency to focus on the negatives. So you can't help spotting this, and actually when Scott uploaded my slides and he was checking the slides and he was like, oh, you've got a typo, he spotted it. It sort of jumps out at us. And some people like really hate the apostrophe. I had another slide, people sort of moved back, like, really, you can write that? Here, which I saw from a talk about from a quality improvement talk a few years ago now. And the person giving the talk said, asked us what we thought of this slide, and everybody is like jumping, one sum is wrong, one sum is wrong. And no one ever says 4 of the 5 sums are correct, but you can argue that that information is 4 times more valuable. So I think we have this evolutionary tendency to spot error, and we need that, clearly. We don't perhaps need it in life quite so much, because we're less likely to be eaten by saber-toothed tigers. But I think it does keep us safe in our work, actually. So it's really helpful, but it's very strong, and actually it can be quite hard to step away from it and look at what is working well. The second reason, I think, is that we massively overvalue loss. So this quote sort of resonates, and there's been many experiments done. There's a great book by Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow, who did loads of experiments on prospect theory and proved that humans hate to lose much more than they are willing to take risks to gain. And as an example here of some presentation scores, I won't say who is the speaker, but you can see sort of most of the scores actually really very good. And then there's a 1. And I don't know what you're like, but actually I think a lot of us would have the tendency to focus on what was it that was so bad that made that person with a dreadful score. And some people have pointed out that maybe it was the first speaker giving the other 2 speakers 1, and I think that is like the negativity bias totally going to town, really. But the point is, actually, if you change what you do based on that 1, without really understanding what it is that has made your work good for everybody else, you might actually make it worse for everybody. And I think that's what it's a little bit like with our systems, that actually if we don't understand what it is that makes our teams work and our systems work really well, and then we try and put in changes, we might actually not make things any better. The third reason I think we have this negativity bias is that we're a little bit fascinated by it. So I took this, I was finishing, I finally got to bed about 12:30, actually I did a 24-hour course last night. I thought I'll just update the BBC Most Read slide for my presentation. There is nothing positive in there. There's normally 1 or 2. So this is the most read stories on the BBC website. So this is what people have clicked on to read about. So we are kind of entertained a little bit, like, yes, I think, yes, number 4, is it? Anyway, I'm not going to read it out. And then this slide I didn't update, because actually every time I do it, the same things come up. It's the same email headline. And there's one which says, don't go outside, which, and then there's another one which says, is there no one left in Britain who can make a sandwich? So this is the and this is the world that we live in. It's the world that our patients live in. And so really, surprised that actually we find it quite hard to notice the good stuff. And it translates into our work, doesn't it? So our language of safety is very negative, adverse events, error, risk. Data is a verb, as we all know. I'm going to data you, and then we data each other. And then the sort of mothership of negativity, the never events that still keep happening, actually, don't they, despite the patient safety alerts that come out repeatedly. I think in education we're a bit better, but I do notice that sometimes actually it's just satisfactory. It seems to be the kind of, it's all sort of competency-based training, and everyone just has to be satisfactory, and there's no kind of forum necessarily for kind of pulling out the really good stuff that happens the whole time, and acknowledging that, and sharing it, and learning from it. Maybe because we're all British actually, and we feel this kind of slight uncomfortableness about kind of saying when things have gone well, they don't want to seem arrogant and kind of blow their own trumpet, I suppose. And this was a kind of series, we talked a little bit about it, knock-on effect for our well-being, really. And the second victim effect is well described, and then the effect that you have on your family when you go home and you're grumpy because something's gone wrong at work, or the next patient because your behaviour changes because you are just so worried about the same thing happening again. And then there's the people who have to deal with the incidents, I think, that must have a psychological effect. And there's some evidence, isn't there, that humans need a balance of positive to negative to thrive. It's called the Lasada principle, and it quotes different amounts between sort of 3 bits of positive feedback to 1 negative up to 6, depending on where you read it. So I think it comes back to us needing some balance, and this is where this whole idea of these positive reporting systems, I think this is why people have introduced these everywhere, because we recognise that actually it's time for a bit of balance. So then how do you capture the good stuff? And how do you help when your brain has this tendency to focus on the bad, and it's really hard to distract it and notice the good? And I think it really does take a little bit of conscious effort. So Learning from Excellence was introduced at the Children's Hospital about 4 years ago now, and they introduced it on their paediatric intensive care unit, and it's sort of flown there really, actually. They've had kind of reports in the thousands, and there are other places who kind of have introduced it with similar success. We've introduced it, how long now? 3 years at UHB, 2.5 years, and actually we don't have as many reports as they do with the children's, but we have sort of similar numbers to our negative incident reporting, so I think it probably reflects our reporting culture. I think people tend to keep the reporting forms quite simple, because I think there's a barrier there if you have to write an essay that actually people want something that's relatively quick. So who or what was excellent? Of course, it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a system or process or guideline or an aesthetic really in my world that's kind of really well set up, ergonomically designed, for example. What did they do that was excellent? And importantly, what can we learn from it? Because it's the people involved, I think, who have the insight. I think that's what this system is really good for, is collecting that the information about the workers done rather than the workers imagined, which is then the sort of safety. So this is our internet reporting form at UHB. Other places, so Plymouth have introduced a Learning from Excellence system. They have paper forms, they have an intranet reporting form, and they have an external website reporting form, which I think is a fantastic idea. So it made it really easy to collect reports. And they actually take them from patients as well, so anybody can report to patients and staff, and I think they've had about 1,000 reports in their first year. So I think there's something about the ease of access of getting the reports put in that's useful. This is what we do with the reports. So all of the reports get fed back as quickly as we can, and I have, there's somebody who administers this system now, but I recognise that this takes a little bit of time when people are setting it up. And I think that we do it privately actually, so it's private, not anonymous, private feedback to the person who's been, or people who've been named in the report. Because really it's information about them, and actually they can share it more widely if they want to, but we don't put posters up, we don't kind of put reports up anywhere other places do, and if that works for them, then great. And I think that is the biggest form of learning actually, and there's been a quality improvement project done at the Children's Hospital which looked at antibiotic prescribing, so they set out some gold standard prescriptions. They put in positive reports anytime anyone met the gold standard, and they showed that their rate of prescription increased and was sustained. It kind of contributed to changing the culture, but I think you can, that immediate positive feedback can change behaviour. Some of the examples we share more widely in our kind of department governance newsletter, other places do similar sharing. Some of the situations we've kind of run as kind of low fidelity simulation really, but often they are, so for example, a cardiac case that came through our general theatres, it was just worked really well, so then the education lead kind of ran a sort of similar, I think they just talked it through actually, but they used that as a basis for kind of ongoing learning. AI stands for appreciative inquiry, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a moment, but I think a lot of the learning often comes from following up the reports a little bit and saying actually, you know, what were the challenges and how did you meet those in that situation, to try and get some information from the person who was reported and the person who put in the report to kind of to gather the learning. So we're trying to start doing that a little bit more and follow up the reports a little bit more detail. We've had about 10 kind of roundtable meetings, so similar to an RCA type meeting, but we've got everybody together and we've talked about what worked well in that situation. And that's been a really lovely, positive experience for everybody involved. And then we don't make kind of mandated recommendations based on that, but it's more about identifying what contributed to working well and then kind of making suggestions that the people involved might want to take forward. And I think what has been really helpful is, so for example, we've had a couple of reports about really busy kind of shifts across ICU and theatres. So one of the first reports we had was where we had, I think, something like every subspecialty theatre was in and working. There were 3 patients in resus who needed ITU. There was a kind of another transfer that needed to be done. And the way that the registrars actually flexibly used the workload, divided the work up. So everybody did something slightly different to what they would normally do, but based on their experience. And the reason that worked is because they're always on call in teams. So it's really busy, but you do all your on-calls together. So everybody knew what they knew each other's competencies really well. And so now when we're looking at kind of how we kind of change our rota system, because we've got enough doctors, one of the things we need to make sure we keep is that people stay on call in teams, because actually that's been found to be really helpful. So that's just an example of something that we found useful from sitting down and talking about something that's worked well. We do link it into the governance framework, and I think that's quite important, our kind of risk and compliance team. So sometimes people report something that might be a sort of near miss, but you can call it a great capture space, and that sort of links in. So a few examples here. I've picked up some examples of some kind of junior doctors actually. So this report I kind of read, I started it when I was at the system when I was a registrar, and I read this report and it made me want to be like that person. It made me kind of really appreciate how useful it was for the people who are just starting out on calls to kind of take a bit of time and talk through the stuff that you think is maybe quite basic, but actually they found it really helpful. So that was really nice. There's another report here about a doctor who managed cardiac arrest in cath lab, I think, really well, and really nice to be able to feed back to them about why that was useful. And then this is one from the Women's Hospital actually, and I think this is something that I'd really like to start following up a little bit more. So an example of what makes good communication. So communication in obstetric theatre is always quite difficult when you've got an awake patient and you're talking about knife to skin and estimated blood loss and things, and you've got a woman who's petrified and her husband who's about to faint. So I think something about and kind of noticing the communication that's working really well, and what words did they use? Because I want to know so that the other obstetric team can do that as well. So this is on my to-do list, to try and kind of put in some more positive reports about really good communication and see if we can develop a sort of common language that everybody knows and uses. So I've done a little bit of thematic analysis on our first 200 reports, just gave them kind of terribly scientifically, just some themes that I thought I used the kind of non-technical skills framework, and then there's a whole load of added extra, sort of compassion, kindness, going the extra mile that doesn't really fit within our normal non-technical skills, but is really important. It all comes down to teamwork and how and communication. Actually, things go well when they go well. So it kind of fits with what we know, I think, but actually what our emphasis should be on education is like how we kind of work well as a team and what makes good communication. So a little bit about appreciative inquiry. So when we started to do the roundtable meetings, we tried to use the RCA methodology, but it didn't quite fit. And then we read a bit about appreciative inquiry. So appreciative inquiry is a philosophy that human systems move in the direction of what they study, what they talk about. And so appreciative inquiry, therefore, is the study of human systems when they're working at their best, which is really nice. And it has some guiding principles behind it. My favourite one is really that you get the answers to the questions that you ask. So think about how you phrase your questions actually, because that will determine what your answers are. And it's about, instead of a traditional deficit-focused approach, it's thinking about what have we got, what's working, and how can we make more of that. So we use one of the tools, there's this kind of conversation guide, this 5D cycle that we use for our roundtable meetings. And I won't say much more than that, but there's a very thin book about appreciative inquiry that is quite easily digestible, and we sort of read it and then just did it. But you can go to sort of training on it. So we live in a world where questions create. So appreciative inquiry started in the 80s, in the Cleveland Clinic in the US actually, by this chap called David Cooper-Reiner. And I think we do have a tendency to think about what's wrong with our system, and actually maybe we could start by thinking about what's working and what we can create. And at the Children's, they flipped their SIRI meetings to IRIS meetings, so improving resilience, inspiring success. UHB is a little bit more, it's not quite breaking up that terminology yet, but we'll get there. So, how do I think this can contribute to improving our kind of working environment? And I've sort of related this to education and training a little bit. So I think every time you put in a positive report about and you're reflecting on something that's gone well, that is evidence of reflection. And I don't see why reflection always has to be on what's not worked well, although of course we must do that because that's how we learn from it, and that's the sort of good that comes out of things that haven't gone so well. But I can see no reason why we can't use examples of reflecting on good stuff as part of our evidence of reflection. I think it contributes to appreciation and improving morale. I can't prove that yet, but I have got lots of anecdotes. So quite often when you send, you put a report in, then you get a lovely kind of ripple effect of someone kind of messaging you back saying, thanks, I really appreciated that and it really made a difference. And do you know what, if it's just for those kind of, the fact that you put a smile on someone's face a few times and you've kind of created those connections and helped to develop those professional friendships at work, I think this is worth doing. I talked a little bit about the quality improvement project at the Children's Hospital, and I think we can use this as a tool for improving the quality of work that we do. There's a great quote from, I was doing some e-learning module on perioperative medicine, and there was a professor at UCH that said that our best in the NHS is really good, and actually quality improvement is about helping us to be at our best more of the time. So we need to know what our best looks like and maybe talk about that a little bit more. I think you can use it in simulation, so particularly appreciative inquiry. So our simulation lead at UHB is trained in appreciative inquiry, and she kind of uses that as a tool in her debrief. Obviously these are examples that can be used in appraisal, and I'll talk a little bit about the other two in a minute. So this is just something I pulled off from Twitter, which I think is really nice. And there is something really valuable about noticing good things at work, not just for the effect you have on other people doing the reporting, but for you personally. And there's kind of a fair bit of evidence in positive psychology, which I'm no expert in, that actually if you write down 3 good things that happened that day, and then I think they did a study where they looked at people's depression scores in a week and in a month's time, that actually they had lower incidences of depression for those people who just had kind of noticed the good things at work. What's WIIFM? I didn't know what that was. What's in it for me? I'm getting old now, aren't I? But there's a lot of personal benefit for this as well, and I think when I've put in reports, there is something very nice about showing gratitude and appreciation for the work of your colleagues. So we've taken appreciative inquiry and applied it to entrance and exit interviews, and I know Coventry ED is really good at doing their exit interviews, and actually this work was sort of inspired by Chris really, and we've tried to phrase our entrance interviews in a more positive way, like asking people what's important to them, what their strengths are, what they can bring from their previous rotation to this rotation, to try and just create that positive environment at work. And these templates are on the Learning from Excellence website, you can take a look and use if you think useful. I think there is real benefit to this in terms of our culture at work, and people talk a lot about safety culture, but it's just our culture generally. And I'm quoting Chris up there, and I really do believe that actually, and I think that taking a bit of time to show some appreciation and valuing each other allows those connections to form and actually makes our job easier and makes us feel better about our work and therefore perform better at work. I don't know whether you've seen this. This was published about a year ago now, actually. So this is the Institute for Healthcare Improvement Framework for Improving Joy in Work. And there's a great foreword by Don Berwick who opens it and he kind of literally just he was saying what I was thinking then. Is this not just a bit flaky, really? Joy in work? Are we not just pushing it here? Most people sort of have a party on a Friday, or not feeling cool, but there you go. But actually there's really good evidence that actually staff well-being and staff engagement contributes to patient outcomes. This is not just touchy-feely, this is just better for everybody. And he kind of says, you know, it's not flaky, I promise you, and it's possible that we really need to be thinking about this a little bit more. The idea of kind of, I don't know that I would agree with rewarding excellence. I think it's about appreciating excellence. The point of this is not to give people a sort of visible gold star, although I mean that can work and there are those systems available, but it's more about kind of private appreciation for the good work that people do. And it's not always the big stuff, it's just often the little stuff. Like we've had reports put in by one of the examinations who was stuck in theatre and just was really hungry, and the secretary went to get him something to eat and brought it down for him, and that made a massive difference in his day. And it took me a little bit of time to kind of say why that made a difference, or like when I moved lists, which I detest, first thing in the morning when you're coming in to do one thing and you need to do another, the secretary will print out the theatre list of the list that I'm going to and say, here you go, Abby, these are your patients. And I fed that back and now she always does it for me, and it makes a massive difference. These are just some thoughts, just to close, things that people have kind of cropped up and said to me sort of along the way. When people report themselves to each other, I don't wish to be cliche, but guess which subspecialty is that? It's only other surgeons that have said that. Yeah, well maybe everyone else thinks it and they just say it actually. So that, and actually it doesn't matter, like people report the teams that they're in, that's fine. I think there's this idea of who decides what is excellent. I think the point is that if you work in the system, you know what is good, what has helped you, and actually that it's important to leave it to the people who work in the system to decide. We haven't ever defined what excellence means. And how do you know this makes a difference? Well, I think we're working on it, but I think it's the quotes that you know that you get, and there are loads of them that keep coming. That actually that's enough for me in terms of whether it makes a difference. Oh, and I've left this quote actually, which fits with the, I'm not very good at football, but the Man United theme. I really agree with that actually. That's it. And this is just to remind me to tell you about our website. And we've got a community of practice there, so if you're interested and you want to sign up, then that would be lovely. Thank you.